Hello, everyone. I am very excited today. This is Sandra from Game Changer. It's the new model of Aquarian relationships. It's all about self-discovery, and we're really into that right now. So I would really appreciate it if you would comment, if you would like, and if you would share. And at the end of this month, I do a drawing for a mini reading. Okay, because I do spiritual and business coaching. If you look underneath in the show me, you'll see my website, my personal muse. Now, enough about me. We have this fabulous lady, okay, called Sophie, and she's from Liverpool and met in the ethers. Okay, she does other stuff. Brilliant. And I'm at a time where I'm looking at rebranding myself, looking at social media. There's all different kind of changes, and she has a pulse on it. You know, Sophie, I'm not sure where you get it, but you just kind of have this higher understanding. It's like you're looking down on the globe. You're looking at the globe and you're saying, oh, okay, I can see this, browsers, websites, YouTubes, all of this kind of thing. And I know what's going on. And so many people have said, join this, join that, I don't know what to do anymore. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you say how it's unfolded. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Sandra, and hello everyone. That was my dog Sally, so if she comes back up, just to let you know.
That's
So yeah, so what we were talking about before we came on was how with this ascension that's happening, because this is an ascension and Sandra is an expert in the Aquarian age, and you know, you've foreseen all of this and your work has been about all of this, and it's so interesting to listen to your knowledge. This is an ascension, this is human evolution, so many things. People are meeting their twin flames. That has absolutely blown up. That is all to do with human ascension and human evolution. As you say, Sandra, relationships are going to drastically change, and the way how we're going to move as a society, as a global humanity together, is, as Magenta Pixie says, it's going to be a round table. It's not going to be one centralized dictatorship anymore. I can't actually be bothered to talk about the cabal anymore. They've been given so much attention and energy. I don't want to talk about them. I'm just going to talk about our future. So, so Facebook, etc. How is this ascension going to move people into new business models? So Sandra, you've raised your concerns there, and many others in all types of different environments and businesses, including the spiritual, have built their brand up on Facebook because that was the law. That's what hooked you in. It's free. Everybody's on there. But what we didn't realize was happening to us was, as we were consenting to this, all of these free things and doing personality tests, we were slowly giving away all of our data. Our data is invaluable to them. That these people, the currency is our data, and the currency is also our consciousness and our attention. And how they've sucked us in, and then it's almost like you've been sucked in, and now everybody's there, centralized in it. You now become dependent on it, just like with a government. And then it's like, how do we escape? How do we get out of it? When for many people, you depend on Facebook for your business. And so this was leading to a technocratic dictatorship, basically, in a nutshell. And obviously with what's gone on because the ascension is happening, it's not going to sustain that type of energy. So it's been exposed. And people will not stand for censorship, and they won't stand for their free being taken away from them, and they won't stand any longer to not have free speech because these are your basic. So, you know, if you look at this ascension process, it's so organic and it's so beautiful. So basically what's then happened, because people won't stand for that, we'll find then we'll go off and we'll offshoot, and we're going to look for other avenues so that we can say what we want, we can do what we want, you know, that because that's my free right as a human being, as a sovereign being. So all of these new platforms have opened up, and as you were saying before, Sandra, it's like, you know, where do you even begin with that? And I was just saying to people, don't stress about it. Like, just feel into it. It's going to be an organic process. You don't have to just cut everything off from Facebook and all of the other ones immediately and go and make the shift. It's very much comparable to the ascension shift from 3D to 4D and 4D to 5D. So you can have one foot in the old paradigm and one foot in the new paradigm, and figure out how you're going to make the change, the adjustment. And then as you move in from third to fourth, it's the bridge, isn't it? You're bridging. And then when you're in the fourth, it will change again, and you'll have a foot in the fifth dimension and one in the fourth, and it goes backwards and forwards. So people right now have their old business models in Facebook, etc., and they're now opening up into Telegram, for example, BitChute, Rumble rather than YouTube. It's just to do with censorship and having your data mined from you, because lots of, I think it was 500 million people, wasn't it, who migrated from WhatsApp over to Telegram in one weekend because of the terms and conditions that came up with WhatsApp. And obviously Facebook owns WhatsApp. So Signal and Telegram are the big ones now. And apparently Signal is better than Telegram for not having and not being able to share your information. So if you want to stay super on top of things with your data, Signal is apparently the best for that. And Elon Musk also recommended Signal.
Did he? Okay.
Telegram is great. I personally, if we're talking about our energetics here, and
Right.
say how we, because what's really important for each human is that your energy is contained and it's not leaking out and seeping out, especially unconsciously, which is how the world has been set up to exhaust us and to take it from us. So being really smart with which apps you choose and what programs you consciously decide to tune into is really good. And it all depends on, it links into how much time you spend on things. So I personally made the decision to permanently delete Facebook. Now my business isn't as big as like, I hadn't invested as much time into my business on Facebook as say you have for years and years and years, and other people. So it wasn't as painful to me to cut ties. I just thought these people are basically criminals, so I want nothing to do with that. But done. And I was fine to go, because I feel like I'm very much only stepping into my business at the moment, so that's perfect for me. But for other people who have created a persona in the old paradigms, obviously new challenges are coming up for you, and it's obviously it's like anything, you would be worried and concerned. But you can, once you choose a new platform though, for example Telegram, which I love, because you can run your own channel on there, and you can people can comment on the channel that you run, but it's not about likes. There's no likes on there, you know, and it's very quick and direct. So you get your message on there, you're in and out. So I personally find like my time on my phone is more than halved, because just from going from Facebook to Telegram. But it's not that sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Go on. I lost my train of thought.
It's fast, you said. It's fast, like, and you can use it rather than use your telephone because there's no comments or anything. So
yeah, so it's just really quick and direct. But lots of people are using it. Like John Voight is on there at the moment, and he's really going for Trump on there. You know, he's really supportive of Trump. Lots of truthers have gone onto Telegram. It's really good. I like it. The only thing is, I've got 100 subscribers on there, whereas before I had 5,000 on Facebook and whatever. But what if you put good content on your channel on Telegram, and if you put at whoever you are with your link, just ask people to share that, and then this is how you get people to subscribe to your channel. That will, if people like your stuff, they'll start sharing it, and then people will come to your channel and add you on that. It's just going to be a natural process again, just like Facebook was, except we're a bit more switched on now.
Okay, so when you say channel,
Yeah.
is that mean like a channel, like a YouTube channel?
No, it's just called channel. But so think of Telegram as the same as WhatsApp. So
I don't know what, I've never had a WhatsApp.
Oh, really? Well, it's just really instant. It's instant messaging, and you can be in groups on there, group chats. So it uses your telephone number. So that's predominantly what it is. But you can also you just imagine that you've got, as well as group chats, I can also go onto Sophie's channel. So imagine like Sophie's channel as a group chat, but it's just messages that I have put out that you can read. So you can put anything on there, just shares, YouTube's, writing, images, pictures, and you put it out there and people view it. It's I suppose the most, you could compare it to Instagram. It's kind of like an interactive.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, and I didn't do a lot of Instagram because of probably my whole process of who I am. I felt comfortable with Facebook. Like I got used to it. And that's the whole thing right now. People are saying, what is next? Where am I going to go next? Okay. And so
I think organic process. I think if you just, as you always say, Sandra, align with the divine and don't stress about it, you'll just see who are your other favorite people and where are they going, and just naturally go with the flow. I've got a friend who I've seen, she's been quite active with saying, I am migrating over to Telegram, guys. Anybody who comes over with me, it's really clever. She'll put a discount on, so you can have some of my courses on Facebook, and it's this price, say $100. But anybody who comes over to Telegram with me and subscribes, that you can get the same courses for $44 instead. Like, be clever about it and savvy. So that would be an incentive for people to migrate over to your new channel with you, and that's working for some people. That's clever, but it's just going to be, just like we said, one foot in one world, another foot in, and juggling.
What is that called? BitChute? What's that?
From what I can gather, BitChute is just a another version of YouTube. So is Rumble, and because obviously there's been so much censorship on YouTube, which is part of the technocratic dictatorship regime, people are just looking for alternatives. They don't want to have to speak in code, and they don't want to have to censor themselves, so they'd rather speak freely. But that doesn't mean that you have to drop it. YouTube is still the #1 platform to get full exposure in the world, apparently. If you want to go, if you want to go get a worldwide audience, Facebook, I think, is really good as well. But the question is, are Facebook and YouTube going to last? Look down the timeline.
I don't actually think so, because of the energy behind them. Like, exactly. We know that. I'm not going to say it's going to be gone in 6 months. Okay. I don't know. I just think we're given other options right now. And for me, I can only say for me, so I'm given the message, okay, that I need to really look at this seriously. Now, I've never been afraid that, some people say I'm going to get up one day and I have no YouTube channel, or I don't have this. That's not where I am. I'm trying to be proactive and, as you say, let it flow organically. What happened to me when I got a hold of you, it was like, okay, so people would say, come on, Gab. I wrote it all down. It's like,
I think Gab's quite popular over in America, and for you guys in Canada, it's not so popular in England. MeWe seems popular quite worldwide for everyone.
Yeah, but I did the MeWe, and it's not as fluid as YouTube. And you have to remember, we have to take all of our information and we have to put it over on the other one. So if I have 3 Facebook, that's going to take me time. So I'm not jumping. And then somebody put me on, and I went to Rumble, and I really don't like the way Rumble is. Like, I'm an aesthetic person too, and it's got to be functional. It has to be functional. It has to be easy.
These other alternatives are in they've just been born. They're in their baby phase. They'll evolve, and turn into something else. You can't pull Facebook. Facebook is brilliant. The way it's been designed, everything, and it's so addictive as well. But the thing is, they've hired people in to do this. The same people who design casinos, and it's the currency is your consciousness. The currency is your awareness, and they live off that currency. It's being set up against us. As brilliant as Facebook is, and in unity consciousness, there is no good or bad. From the higher perspective, of course there is good and bad, but if something bad is happening to you, but you've got to accept it for what it is. It's when you wake up, you woke up, so don't moan about it anymore. You've got other options. Crack on. What I say to you about that? It's gone, but it will come back soon. I had something else to say about milk.
Yeah, and I think it's the confusion, and I don't like being in a state of confusion. It's not that I don't like it. I know it's there, and I'm not going to react. I want to respond.
You want to respond, exactly. And I don't think there's any need to get overwhelmed by this, because the people who've had to migrate predominantly have been intensely censored or completely deplatformed. So you haven't had that happen to you, thank God. So there's no impetus for you to quickly jump ship. Charlie Freak, for example, he has been deplatformed on every single thing. The only thing he's got left now, well, he hasn't even got anything left. He's on MeWe. That's it. Every other platform he's been deplatformed on, and so there's a need there. So I just think those people who are starting in the new platforms, they're just they're just paving the way for us of this new path that's going to happen, new media, and then everybody can just slowly, organically follow in whichever way they wish, and it will be more of a round table, fair, rather than this technocratic dictatorship regime, centralized propaganda, which is just control the control system.
This will be more of a network like this, where we can all work together. See, Parler was supposed to be so big, and this morning I just read where I don't know who he is. They asked him to leave. And I know John Bongimo is a partner in Parler, and they're having a problem. And so there's a lot of this kind of dissension, and you've made me feel better already. But I really do. But I do want to work with you, and I want to know if you would sometime maybe put a course on for people that maybe had questions, like a Zoom course, and we could pay you, and then we could give you questions that we want. I could tell you what I want, or I could do like a Zoom, a personal business class with you. I know that it's necessary for people, and especially people that they don't want to waste the next 1 or 2 years or whatever, not feeling the way I am. And it's about preparing yourself to say, okay, yes, I'm going to let it organically unfold. However, I need to have, and of course we have this new moon. Is it new moon? Or is it full moon? I think it's a new moon in Aquarius. It's a new moon because it's setting intentions. I've just been writing it. And it's really interesting that we're doing it right now. There is a synchronicity in this for the simple reason that Aquarius is the 11th house it rules. This new moon is in Aquarius, and it's all about technology and freedom and how to get things out there, because the world has changed now. And I know some people say, like, I'm just not going to do it. And I go, then don't do it. But,
yeah,
but then don't whine to me that you have become a victim. It's not becoming a victim. It's looking at what's happening right now, what you don't like. Of course, I just signed a petition, and this morning we have a really neat thing about not having to have the vaccines and that type of thing. And all I am right now is Facebook. I'm careful of what I say because they put me in jail for a few days. And so I had to be, good. But, and so I've had to learn how to work around that. So if there's anything, like if what I would like to do is in the hashtags, put how people can get a hold of you and that type of thing. And for you to consider, I know you're busy, you have your other businesses and whatever, and you might want to tell them what it is. But if you would consider maybe putting a basic course on about the shifts, how to consciously move through it, like, consciously, and what's out there, and what is this platform. And like, for me, it's like, so I'm looking at, there's search engines, there's browsers, there's social network, there is Google. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And so for me, because I worked with Microsoft, I just needed to know, what is this? What is that? Basic stuff, foundational stuff, because people are up here and they haven't got the foundation. And so it's a great time with everything being coming down and being destroyed with Pluto. It's like, okay, how is this going to work? What is going to be the foundation? So it's like taking basic math in elementary to get into junior high. I need to know these things before I can move over here.
You're so right. And I think a lot of people are concerned, but I just don't think it helps to get worried. Don't worry about it. And I know it's easier said than done, but just watch where your favorite people who you look up to are going, and that's if they resonate with you energetically, then the direction they're going in other platforms will resonate with you as well. And don't feel like you have to make really, really strong decisions. I mean, the new platforms that are opening, some of them are opening and then getting shut down before you even got a chance to sign in, so just be cautious about it. But Telegram has already been in the pipeline, and it's been created for a few years now, and that's been going for a while, and that it's solid. It's got millions of people are on there. And I do think that that's going to be one of the way forwards. But it's also, Trump also not enforced this, but he was sort of like intrinsic to this whole movement as well. When he was completely deplatformed, that almost energetically set this all in motion, because, regardless of what your opinions are about Trump, it shouldn't really have happened to any president for any type of democracy. It's just ridiculous. It's scandalous and ridiculous.
Well, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, nothing was about Biden's laptop or anything. They didn't know he had the connections with the Chinese government or the whatever. That was all covered up before the election, and now it's coming out, and now you can see what he's doing, and it's crazy what they're doing. I feel sorry for the Americans, and we have somebody here that's like, anyway, that doesn't matter. I know who I like, or I know who I resonate with, because I know who I am, and it's taken me a long time. And so I really appreciate, I will look at Telegraph for sure. I'm not, and it's really funny because my intuition, every once in a while I would get, oh, you have to do this. So I'd start breathing, and it's like, okay, getting anxious. And then a little voice would be, no, just calm down. Just
Exactly.
don't
Present.
react. Yeah. And then I knew I needed to connect with you. But like I say, if people do want to connect with you, and if they want to like have a half-hour course, or not course, or what would be connect with you to get some information, they can just, do you have a PayPal?
Yeah, I've got PayPal. It's Sophie Louise O'Shea at gmail.com. And yeah, if you want to connect with me, just message me on emails, and I'll send my details over to Sandra, and I'll also send my Telegram channel over as well. And I'm a Reiki therapist, and I do a lot of distant and angelic Reiki for people all over the world. So if you're interested in that as well, I can work with you. I'm also a spiritual sort of coach, counselor. But when you were speaking then, Sandra, what came to me was all of these tests that in life that come to us, that if you take the bird's eye view, it's actually, everything is so beautifully interconnected and interwoven. So when we start, if you think about this, the most important spiritual tool that we have is presence. When we're present, we're in whatever we're doing. Presence and doing don't have to be separate. Presence and doing, presence and thinking, we're connected. I love what you say, we're aligned with the divine, and in that alignment we're connected to our multidimensionality, because everything exists in the now moment, and we know this. Everybody in the spiritual community knows this, but we have to practice it. So if all of your business and livelihood is attached and anchored into the old paradigms of Facebook, etc., YouTube, of course that is going to bring up fear and panic in you. If you then feel, oh, if all of this is everything that I've invested all of my time into is going to suddenly become redundant, where am I going to go? What's going to happen to me? That is completely understandable. But at the same time, exactly what you just said, you've just got to bring yourself back into presence, and, just take into your centeredness and get aligned with the divine again, and just notice what's coming up for you in that moment. Is it actually real? Are you going to lose your entire business in one day? No, it's not true. It's everything is a process, and it's going to take a while, and it's going to take time, and it will organically happen. And it's not just happening to just you, it's happening to a lot of people. And come back to present and get set.
Come back here. On the other hand, it's just like anything. It's like some people don't know where to start. And so I still say, so now we know that you're really good at this, and you're going to send me on email the hashtags for me to put up for this video. Okay, so people can get a hold of you, number one. And number two, sometimes we need to do one. Everybody loved when you talked about the twin flames.
Yes.
That was a big one. It's going to be bigger now, because with this Aquarian energy after December, what happens is all the past life and the ancestral and everything is coming through. So people are having a choice. I worked with somebody the other night. Okay, this person is in this relationship, and now there's another relationship, and they're back and forth and back and forth. And I said, this is about lessons. So if you are with someone, okay, and someone comes into your life and you're attracted to them, you need to be honest. Number one, emotionally honest. And number two,
I agree.
It's about, what was my lesson with that person that just come in? Because if I jump ship and go with that person, then what I've done is I've created more stuff over here. Have I not? That's something people can talk to you about. It's just like, be cognizant, be aware of what you're doing, and be aware of what the lessons are of what, and you can be, and then again, as we're shifting our consciousness. So it's not so much a physical, lustful, sexual kind of thing. It's more about how are we working together in the physical. Of course, we're still here. This is my body, but how am I moving forward in the spiritual? That's a whole big thing. And you would be really good at that. So you have different things that, sometime whenever you're ready, if you want to share. We've done this one. People have loved when you talked about the twin flames. Now, this one here, we got to figure out a name for it, which we will. And I want to thank you. And so people can help you. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. I wanted to ask you, tell me more about the 11th house. So how many houses are there? Is it 12?
We have 12 houses. So we have the first and it goes all the way around. And that's what I want to teach. I want to teach some of that. And so that people can have their chart. And when they look, it's a new moon here. What does that mean? Because a new moon shining or a full moon shining means something. So if we have 12 and it goes in a circle and underneath it's all the inner stuff we have to do. And then we go up to the 7th house. Okay. So 1 house and 7 are across. 2 and 8, 3 and 9, 4 and 10, and 5 and 11, and 6 and 12. Okay, they're the opposite. But but what happens is that each house has a ruling planet. Okay,
yeah.
But that doesn't mean, so I can only say the 11th house. Okay, I'm missing you there. So the 11th house in the natural wheel is ruled by Aquarius. Okay, it's an house. Now, Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. Okay, which is interesting. But Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn. That's the old one. A lot of the newer astrologers say no. So the 11th house is really hopes, wishes, and dreams. What is the 10th house is profession. Now, how do we take that profession and how do we share it with the world? Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's the Aquarian. That's our Aquarian energy now that we're doing. And then the 12th house is our spirituality. And then I always say there's a 13th house that we can't see. It's magic. When we get everything going, it's like we move out and enjoy our 13th house.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, you have to send me your chart sometime, or I'd like to look at it. And so that's what I want to do. Want to do this? Pardon me?
There's a really good app for people to get your chart, and it's free. Just one moment and I'll have a look on my phone what it is.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put that app in the hashtags too.
I'm just finding it. I'll just be one moment. Time Passages. It's called Time Passages.
Time Passages. Time Passage is one of the programs I use.
Oh, there you go.
So I have that program. And then what I do is I have another program. And then when I do a session or reading, I add in the Galactic Signatures, I add in the Numerology and my own intuitiveness and bring in these destiny cards. So it's like, it's all together. Like my teachers used to say, I've done this for 50 years and I've had different teachers, and every Sunday I have classes with ISAR. And I work more with the transpersonal planets. Okay, like where's the sun, Venus, whatever. It's like, what is your soul doing? It's more of a soul evolution. Like, what did you come here for? What's your purpose? What did you come here for? And I can look at it and it's like, okay, you were on the other side dimension. And it's like you decided, boom, I'm picking my mom and dad. I'm coming down. I'm going to learn. I'm going to teach. I'm going to have fun. Okay. And so I always say to people, it's like fairy dust. You come down and then you're born and you forget everything. And then it's like, if you go back to the old philosophers, it's like, who am I and why am I here? And that's what's happening right now. Why are we here? What's our purpose? how do we find meaning in our life? And how can we share that with others? How can we be pumped about life and engaged rather than like a zombie?
I think that's a perfect place to end as well, because on that note, you cannot do all of those things in censorship and in control and have your freedom and your speech removed from you. It's got to be free, and you've got to have space to be able to do it. So that's how we're going to have our one foot in the old paradigm, and we're going to look and consider where we can go into the new shared table of sharing information. And the other thing that I just came to mind, but I didn't actually say, was I think the reason why, another reason to not worry so much about there's going to be so many different platforms, is I also don't think that the Ascension is not going to support individuals with enormous followings who everyone looks up to like a guru. That was the way.
That's
So
the
it's
old one.
more sporadic now, and it's going to be like everybody is equal, everybody has something to share and say and is unique and has something special to bring to the table. We're not going to or it's not going to be all eyes on one, millions of eyes on one. So it will be distributed much more. And then sort of counterintuitively, you can then say, well, how am I going to get my business? Because people from other platforms and places will share and say, oh, I know this person, you need to go to Sandra for this, she's brilliant. And it will go back to how it used to be, word of mouth, like go and check this person out over here, do this. And it's more of this, it's got this organic flow to it rather than this control structure of 7 billion eyes on one person. And it's all, they're just feeding off the power from that. This is more equal. This is
I love that. That's our network. That's the Aquarian. It's the network. And so people say it's like I'm going to be in a commune. No. I'm going to be an individual, and I'm going to share. And that's why I would share with another astrologer. I mean, Tiffany is a beautiful spiritual teacher in Texas. Anybody that I can share with, that I'm like-minded, that we were brought together in the ethers. So I trust that we are similar. So I want to make sure and support you and show, because one of my things is that I'm good at giving the light. So to give the light to you, to anybody I find, another astrologer, sure, everybody's different. It's not that greed that I've got this hungry eyes or there's green-eyed dragons. It's about honoring everybody's soul and their unique gift. So I think that's really good. So I'm going to thank you very much. And I thank everybody. And now you know Sophie, so you can get a hold of her, where I'm going to put all of the stuff in the hashtag. And remember to please to comment. Okay, we love comments. Okay, comment, and you get a chance to win a mini reading, and share, and please subscribe if you would. And thank you for taking the time. And Game Changer makes a wonderful, wonderful gift. It's about relationships, the Aquarian relationship, and Thanksgiving is coming up. And so now I need to close off here.